Hey everybody, welcome to this Board Game Life episode number 77, titled GenCon 2024 Report. This is a show about board games and anything else we want to talk about. I am one of your fine hosts today. My name is Rob. Also, as always, I got my best gaming bud, Mark.
The finest host is here. Yes, Mark is here. Hi,
Plural,
Rob. How
host.
are you doing?
The finest hosts, plural, are here.
Hosts. Yes, that's what I meant to say.
The hosts with the mosts.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I am still tired.
All right. For next year, you got to get on the GenCon fitness program.
Yes.
To increase your endurance. Got to get plenty of sleep beforehand. Got to start walking around the neighborhood, do a couple miles a day so you can be all prepared and awake for massive gaming.
Exactly. It killed me. I think the very first game we sat down to play, I was sitting there yawning because I was so tired already on
I think you were bored.
Day one. Was not bored. You can't be bored at Gen Con. It's just not possible.
Yeah. With stuff going around everywhere, in every direction.
Yeah.
People and noises. Unfortunately, sometimes smells, but hey, that's a whole different story. So, yeah, I think let's get on with it. Let's talk about some of the stuff that we've been playing and move on to some cool stuff like Gen Con stuff.
Yeah. Did you play anything?
A couple, 2-3 things. It was, I was actually thinking about this on my commute, and it was really nice to sit down and just have that great gaming weekend where everything is gaming oriented. You're looking at games, you're buying games for good or bad, you're playing games, and then rinse and repeat. Just it felt so good not having to deal with work and real life. I mean, it was literally wake up, grab some food if you're hungry, and then it's where am I going next in the hall, or am I going to go play something, see something? I mean, that was the whole freaking day. And of course, oh, I got 40 pounds of games on my shoulder. I need to drop some off at the car. I need to do something with them. Yeah. And that was good, just because I overwork so much that it was good to put that aside and just enjoy the time. And of course, company was perfect.
Well, of course, I was
that
there.
means you. Or does that mean Franco? Or maybe both of you guys?
I think both.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be Gen Con without us now.
Absolutely. So. The crew, the boys.
Yep.
We need to have our friend Deadly Vomit do up another picture of the boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to get a hold of I need to talk to him. I thought about him the other day. It's he lives in Indiana now.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, I don't know if he was ever really into board gaming. I know he's a huge video gamer, but I need to reach out to him and be like, next year, it's are you into this? Are you in the area? You want to meet us? Go to Gen Con?
Yeah.
So
maybe 2025.
Have to try to induct another one into the
yeah, exactly. That slippery slope.
So,
but anyway, what have you been playing? I mean, we played most of the same stuff, I would say.
So
you probably got some other stuff prior.
I got a couple things in prior. I'll run through them, and then we'll spend a little bit of time talking about these that I know you and I both played some of these together. So Clank has come out on Steam, and it's like $23 on Steam. I think it's probably a little pricey, but you can play solo. You can play online multiplayer type of thing. And I will say that the game is a really good, like, it's a really good animated rendition of the board game. It's really good.
They did a
Um,
great job with it. I agree.
yes, yes, they did. However, I think they still need to tweak the difficulty a bit because even on easy, man, the player cubes come out very often. And like in the real board game, when you start out, you've got like 30 dragon cubes in the bag and just a couple player cubes. And you can go several rounds before a dragon, before a player cube comes out. But it's like, man, this thing will pull player cubes out immediately. It's like, what? So it is hard. It's very hard, even on easy. I would not want to play this game on hard. So I think they need to do a little tweaking there. But because this game, the way it is playing against the AI, you got to go down, grab the first thing, and get the heck back out. Like it doesn't matter. You grab that lowest price artifact, and you just run out and hope you're going to make it because it just seems to just go on the kill spree. So it seems like it's a little aggressive and probably needs to be toned down a bit so people can actually play. And I mean, easy mode, you should be able to explore pretty much and have some time. And there's really not a lot of time. So that needs to be, I think, tweaked. But anyways, it's fantastic on Steam. It's a real good rendition.
Yeah, and it's done
Um,
by Direwolf that
yeah.
has done some really, really good adaptations of games. And Direwolf has a sale on Humble Bundle. If you're listening to this relatively soon to its release, it still might be going on. But it was like for $18, which is the minimum you can pay for the bundle, you get like 9 different games, including like Dune Imperium, Munchkin, Everdell. I think Root, Sagrada are in there, and something else. But
Dune Imperium, Calico, Terraforming
Calico,
Mars,
yeah.
Everdell, the Terraform Mars Prelude DLC, the Hella and Elysium DLC. Yeah, Munchkin, Digital, Wingspan, Root, and Scythe. Oh, and Sagrada.
Hmm. That's right. Yeah, so there's some stuff in there as well. But yeah, I actually picked up Clank after you told me about it, and I played it for a bit, and really well done, really well done.
All right. So for board game, I played Planet Unknown, played some Clank Catacombs with my group, and then everything else on this list I played over this last weekend while I was at my buddy Franco's house out in Indianapolis. As we had fun at GenCon. So the first thing I got to play, which I did not buy at GenCon, but it's considered part of my haul because
There you
I was
go.
introduced to the game Wednesday night and I fell in love with it and immediately ordered it and had it delivered to my house the very next day, even though I wasn't here. And it's called Plunder: A Pirate's Life.
You could have
And
gotten the deluxified edition at Gen Con.
I don't know if it was there. I didn't
I'm
see it.
kidding. I'm kidding. Well, Plunder was definitely there
Okay. Well, I this
because I
the one
saw
I
it at their
got is
booth.
like pretty.
But
I don't know what
I'm
else
I'm
you.
joking about the
There's
deluxified.
nothing to deluxe. Everything is already
Deluxe
nice.
already.
Yeah. Don't try to get me crazy. Don't make me go look for more
Don't
stuff. I'm broke,
stoke the
Rob.
flames.
I'm
Yeah.
broke. um, but Plunder a Pirate's Life is to me this is like the perfect pirate game. You get your little ship, you get like 3 pirates on the ship. You claim an island and then this map which can change because there's all these different tiles that you place out and they're double sided. So um, but you place a little flag on an island and you're trying to capture more islands and you're there's loot like treasure to hide. X marks the spot, and these things get randomly placed. There's a storm area on the map that will move around. You're fighting each other, trying to destroy each other's ships, trying to take over their islands. You got to get resources, and it's just it was so much fun. You can add sails to your ship to get you bonus moves, add cannons to make your combat rolls better, and this was seriously a fun game.
It
and
was
I'm
fun, yeah.
taking it with me to my game night tomorrow night, and we're playing this sucker again. So, but I played it Wednesday night with Franco and his wife, and then we know you got way stuck in some bad traffic. It took you a long time to get your to get. It took Rob longer to drive from Chicago to Indianapolis, which is like what, a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah, normally, yeah.
It took him longer to get there than it did for me to fly from Seattle to Indianapolis. That's how bad his
Yes.
traffic
Yes,
was. So, but so we were playing, and then the next day it's like we played it again so we could introduce Rob to it. Um, Great game. Played some Kingdomino, played some Clank, Sunken Treasure. So it's just one of the expansions for Clank. And then at Gen Con, I went to the CGE. I had signed up for CGE's Play and Learn of SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And this game comes out in October. It's a heavy game. And I really like, I like CG games. I'm becoming kind of more of a fan of their stuff the more I see. But this game, I think, is probably not for me. It's There's a lot of setup. It's a very heavy game. I was trying to like follow like I kept like at the end, even at the end of the 2 hours, I was just like, how do I get this to do this again? you know, there was just so many things, and then the board itself moves, and I'm just like, how are you going to pack this up? Like, it's just there's a lot to it. So I'm the good thing was I know I'm not going to be buying the game. Um, it's interesting, and I like the idea, but it was pretty heavy. Um, then I got to buy. Then Rob, thanks to me, see, Rob was looking for a game called Spectacular, and he went into the booth where it was, and then he couldn't find it. So he leaves, and we're talking about it later, and we're standing by the booth, and I look into it, and I'm like, Rob, it's right there.
Yeah.
I just saw them. I'm like, they're over there on that wall, and I guess I think you just didn't. I think because there were so many people in there, you couldn't get
I didn't
like
get
all the way
over
to
yeah, I
where
didn't
it
get right
was.
over there, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's right there. So he ran back in and got it. Um, and we got to play Spectacular, and when he got it, he showed me the box, and I'm looking at it, and I was like, kind of rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh great, another zoo, nature, endangered animal, blah blah blah. Another one of these games. It's like it seems like that's everything that everybody's on these days. And it just didn't look interesting. But we sat down, what, Friday, and we played it.
Yeah.
And when we were done, both Franco and I were like, holy crap, we got to buy this game. And I looked up, and they were closing the doors to the retail area.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we played it in the hall.
Yep. And I'm like, I know where I'm going to go first thing in the morning. Well, they sold out that day. They had none. Even if I had gotten over there, that sounds like they were already sold out. So I have now had to pre-order Spectacular, and I'll tell you what, this game is spectacular. It was
It's
so
fun.
freaking
Yep.
good, so good. This I like Cascadia. This is better.
Oh,
this,
wow. That's
this
high praise.
yeah, this game really impressed me. I love that. I like how we're all playing together. I will say that the drawback, because we're all playing at the same time, doing the same moves. I think the drawback to the game is not the game, but the players you might be playing with.
What do you mean?
If you have people that are really slow to make up their mind, then that's going to impact everyone, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then you on the flip side, if you have people that are like, okay, I'm ready, and they just go and they're pushing everyone, then you might be like, So this is one of those games that it's like you could not may not like it depending on your game group and the kind of the people and their play styles that you have. I know my game group, we got some people that are pretty quick. I think I'm pretty quick because I'm always worried I'm holding things up. I know sometimes I'm like, oh crap, I'm sorry. That's my turn. But then we have people that do take a lot of time and think everything out. So because everyone's playing at the same time, it doesn't give a player who likes to really look at all the options and try to think ahead a few steps of what's next. It doesn't really allow them that time frame while everyone's doing their turn. So it can be tough for them, and then alternately, that can slow the game down for everyone else. And in reality, it probably isn't really slowing it down because it's just we're all playing at the same time. So, um, and then people who might be like putting stuff out real quick could be a little impatient because they're like, "It's ready to go. I'm ready to go." Um, but I love how the extra board. There's like this extra board that slides around and moves every round. So you got your player board
Oh
you're
yeah, the
working with,
supply
and your
board.
yeah, and your supply, and then there's like another supply that rotates, and it's like, so then you're looking at, like, I remember I'm like, okay, I need this, and I'm looking around like, okay, the board that's coming to me next, oh, that's on there. Ooh, let's hope they don't take that. And then you're looking at what's coming your way, and you're looking at what someone else might need, and you're it's just there's like so many options, and this game was fantastic. Can't wait to play it again. So I doubted you, Rob, and I shouldn't have.
When will you ever learn?
I don't know, but that was spectacular.
Yeah,
And then
and
you
yeah, that it's by a relatively small and new Norwegian publisher, and
Chili
it's gonna
Fox,
be, yeah, Chili Fox. Yeah, it's technically their Essen release. So all the copies that they had over here are technically the pre-release, but at least the game's done. It'll probably be in distribution, I'm
yeah,
sure, by the time Essen hits beginning of October. So that's
yeah,
like 2 months away, approximately.
yeah. I think it's an Essen release, but the retail when I put it on pre-order, it said, I think that was the one that said January, but that could have been a placeholder for the website too. So maybe
Oh
once it
yeah.
officially released, but or that it releases at Essen, so I don't know what. I think it's January when it releases in the states.
Oh, maybe. So that just
So
means you have to order it on Amazon.de.
there, yeah.
That's
Well, I
how.
already nah. I'll order from my favorite place here in the states. So it's already ordered. So, but great game. And then next, after we played that, so the three of us got to go to the AEG Big Game Night event, and we got to. This is the
So
first
that was
game that
on
we.
Friday.
Yeah, that was Friday. Yep. And the first game that we got to play was Nocturne, which what do you think about it, Rob? What do you think of Nocturne?
Nocturne's okay. I enjoyed the time that we spent playing it. I don't know if it's the type of game that I really want to bring out to the table, but I don't have a problem playing it whatsoever.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. It's not something I probably won't bring it to game night unless someone asks me, "Hey, can you bring that?" Otherwise, I probably pass because I'm not a big fan of the auctioning style of games, even though I paid a lot of money for one of what I'll mention later.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes when I play it, but it was okay. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was just a different than so. I don't have much to say on it. I probably need to play it a few more times outside of the convention,
Yeah.
to
And it's a
really form an
decent
opinion.
game. Yeah, like the summary of it is it's a decent game. It's enjoyable. You can have a good time playing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. It just was yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't want to sit here and try to criticize it. It's just not my forte.
I get it.
So, next one we played was Truffle Shuffle. And this game, like, I remember I feel like I've heard of this before. And I think I've looked at it before and I'm just like, whatever. It's interesting how you can look at a game and go, that doesn't look interesting until you play it, and then it's a whole different story. That game is a lot of fun, and it's just a simple card game. And the person that was, was our what game master, I think they called them. She was telling us, she's like, she calls it chocolate poker. You're basically kind of making poker hands,
Mhm.
but with chocolate, these
Yeah, it's kind
truffles.
of like a mix of one of those tri-peaks, spider solitaire kind of things where you expose the cards as you pick them.
Yeah, and it was really
Yeah.
a lot of fun. And so, and I want to share something here too. If you have new gamers or maybe older gamers in your family or something you want to introduce to this, I took this game to my mother's house last night,
Oh,
um,
nice.
and I'm like, yeah, she might like this. She loved this game, and she kicked my butt too. Like I was
Uh-oh.
like, dang.
Don't play
Um,
mom, in any games of poker with money.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I don't play poker. I'm no good at poker. But
Well, apparently.
yeah, apparently. So good thing I'm only betting fake chocolate. But
Mm,
she absolutely had a blast with the game, and she was just like, "You got to bring this again. This was awesome." And I was like, "Wow, that's so cool."
yeah.
That so this might be something that would appeal to if you've got elderly people in your home or in your family that you like to game with. This might be something that they might enjoy. And basically, you're putting a pyramid of cards out. Like the top row is four cards that are flipped face up, and then you kind of cover them halfway, cover them with five cards beneath them that are face down. Then it's six up, seven down, eight up, and then nine cards face down. And you have to basically remove the cards off the one above it to be able to pick it up. There can't be any cards covering them. So you're working from the bottom up, and you're building hands of a flush of colors or numbers, and basically kind of poker hands to turn in these orders as they call it. And it's just really fun. It's a great game.
Yeah, and it's made by the same crew that did Point Salad and
Oh, I love Point Salad.
Point Salad,
Point
Point
City.
City. There's a couple others that they did together. So it's the same crew. Oh, and
Nice.
Deep Dive as well, which came out last year, which is a fun little press your luck game. I highly recommend that one. I give that one a big thumbs up.
That one I haven't played yet. I have to check that one out too. And then let's see. So they also had Cascadia Rolling Hills at the event, but we didn't play that. But we did get to take it home. I actually already have that game, so I'm taking it with me tomorrow night to my game group and going to give it away to somebody. Um, but then we went back. So the next day, we basically were like, just we've all three of us have been like, there. We've done everything we wanted at Gen Con, and we're like, we really want to play games. That was kind of like our thing. It's like we haven't played anything, so we basically didn't go to the con on Saturday and decided to just make it a game day because Branko's got a game room, game table, and all that type of stuff. And we just like, we're going to sit here and play the stuff we bought. One of the things that he picked up for his wife was Paint the Roses. So we started out the day with Paint the Roses, which may have been a mistake. Because, boy, that game frustrated the crap out of me.
Yeah,
I
me
don't know
too.
why I couldn't seem to wrap my head around like how the game worked. Like, I just couldn't seem to grasp this. And like, how you're like putting stuff out of, well, I've got something and similar to this card or this tile and that tile. And I'm like, I just really struggled. By the end of it, I was like, I just want this game to be over. I think it's a neat game and I like the way it's kind of designed, but there was just something about, you put the tile out and you're trying to what was it we were putting cubes? to like how many I have, and it was way too thinky to start out in the morning for me. Probably way too thinky no matter what for
That
me.
game
But
was like child's play. I don't know what your guys' problem was.
yeah, whatever.
I was about ready to flip the table. I'm like, oh my God, take your turn.
Oh, look who's talking. Uh-huh.
So,
Look who's talking.
so Paint the Roses, the mechanic in it, which is a primary one, is it's a deduction mechanic based on hints that you get to try to determine shapes and colors and like shape associations and colors associations and so forth between different hexes on the board. And if you're good at playing Sudoku, you will crush this game because it's basically the same kind of
I'm good at Sudoku,
thing.
but not at Paint the Roses.
It's the same principle,
It
but
it
it is different. It is a little more challenging, but it's the same kind of logic. You're excluding things and then you're trying to figure out what the possibilities are and then weighing the odds.
yeah, I think I probably just need to play it a couple more times to kind of just, we played it once and it was it's
Yeah.
one of those introduction games. See, usually every time I play something for one time, like the first time, a lot of times I'll be like, "Ugh," like I didn't get
Yeah.
it or I struggle with it. But like you play it a second time and you're like, "Okay, this makes more sense," or now it's clicking, or "Oh, I get it." And so that's probably the thing. I just need to
Yeah.
play it again and then it'll all come clear. That's probably all I need. So, what did we play next? Then we played one Rob would giving me crap about. And I'm like, I'm buying it anyways.
Because that's what I do.
That's what you do. Captain Flip.
Oh, yeah.
So this was one when I first saw it too. I was like, really? Like this looks like such a childish game. And this one, the Spiel des Jahres, and I'm like, really? What's up with these people? But when I watched a video of it actually being played, and I'm like, they were having a lot of fun with it, and I was kind of like, this does look a little entertaining, actually. So I ended up picking it up, and I had fun with the game
Yeah, it's a
with
good game.
you and
Yeah.
Franco. But you need to play it some more because what I found out, I took this one also to my mother's house yesterday, and we played this a couple of times. And what I think the more you play this game, the more the neatness or the charm of it is going to come out because when we played yesterday, like I ended up with like the 3 cannon guys and I'm like, "No, I need to get." So it's like I need to get a monkey out of the bag to get rid of one of these cannon guys otherwise, the game's going to end and we were real close to the end of the game. And I'm like, I got to get a monkey to flip him to get rid of him otherwise I lose everything. And I pulled it out. I pulled a monkey out and I'm like, yes. So I get a gold coin for that. I get to flip the cannon guy over, flipped him over, and it was another monkey. So I got another coin, and I'm like, yes. And I had my cook underneath him, which I already scored all my points for. So then it's like I get to flip him, and then I got like something else that scored me more points. And it was like, oh, this is really cool. Like you're just, so like learning to play and I played it very different than when we all played at Gen Con because it was like, okay, I pull a navigator out and I'm like, well, there's no point to play the navigator right now because I don't have a cartographer. I might as well flip the tile over and just use what's on the other side. Where the first time I was just playing it because it's like there's like I don't know what's on the other side. I'm just going to play this. So I played it completely a little bit more like okay, I'm just going to flip and go with it. And I had a lot of fun with this last night. I'm like, this game is better than I expected. So I really enjoyed Captain Flip. I'm going to take this to game group tomorrow night, and it's a lot of fun. So don't. It is it's a little bit more of a probably a family. I would definitely call it a family. I wouldn't call it a kiddie game, but it's definitely a
Yeah.
family game. You
Oh,
know,
because it won the SDJ, right?
Yes.
So it makes sense.
Um, so it's don't let the cartoon style of it, don't pass up just because of that is what I'm saying. It's a really good one. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Um,
it is a lightish game, definitely, but it's got depth to it. So there is, like Mark was saying, it's got the strategy aspect of it where you really can, min max stuff really nicely. Once you get used to how everything lays out.
yeah. Yeah, it's good. Um, can't say the same about the next game I played. Um, I'm really disappointed. I wish I had not bought this one, but so Franco and I demoed a game at there called "This Game Is Killer," and essentially it's a card game about. It's basically Alien, the card game. It's what it really is. You're on a ship. A xenomorph is out, and you play two cards at a time. The first one is like you either are doing an action. One of the cards is an action you're going to take. The other one is which room on the ship are you in. And so you basically say where you're at, what action you're taking, and then once everybody's done that, we grab a random card to see where the alien's at. And if you're in there, if you're in the room and you don't have a way to defeat him or leave, you're dead and you come out. And basically, you're trying to survive and avoid getting taken out by the alien. Sounded like a cool concept. We tried the demo and I was like, huh, this seemed like a pretty rushed, not very well thought out game was kind of my thought. But I was thinking, well, maybe it's just the person that's teaching us isn't very good or very knowledgeable because that does happen.
Yeah,
And the
you
game
were
was only
hoping.
15 bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, you're hoping there's more to it.
Yeah, and so it was only 15 bucks. I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna get this." And I love the Alien franchise. Well, we played this back at Franco's, and Franco bought it too. And I think he really enjoyed it because he kept talking about it. And even after we played it there, I'm just like, "Oh, this thing's garbage." So um that's one that I wish I had not purchased. I really don't need that taking up shelf space, but um this is killer. I can't recommend it, but oh, Rob, you played it sort of. Like weren't you like on your very first card you escaped or something and it's like that's it? Like you played one
Yeah,
card in the first game in the first round.
yeah, it didn't make sense to me. Like that I could have that combo. Like, so the second round that we had, or the second time we played it, whatever it was, I had this. So you have locations and you have actions, and it was like go to, I think it was the airlock, and then the action blew up the airlock, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is dumb. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like I'm going to kill myself. And then the first one was if I succeeded, no, if I went to the area and the alien wasn't there, I escape
Yeah.
and I'm out of the game. And it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah. Not I just don't think it was done very well. Like
Yeah,
it seems like there could have been a great game in there, like the idea and all that, but I don't
maybe. Yeah.
I don't think it didn't it didn't make it. So, all right. Then we played Wrath of Fire Mountain. This one is by was it Eric Lang and
Phil Walker Harding.
Phil Walker Harding? Thank you. So this is dinosaurs on an island that's got a volcano that the little villagers are worshiping, and you get to move the tiles. It reminds me of a Forbidden Island type of game. Comes in a tin. Urgh, why? Um, but it comes in a tin, and you got these tiles just like in Forbidden Island, and you can move them around. And if you're the lead worshiper of the mountain, the volcano, and mess over other people and set yourself up for more scoring, and it's a very fast game. I think my issue with this one is that I feel like it goes way too fast. That like I think Franco was like, he's like, I didn't even get a dinosaur, and the game was over. And I'm like, you and I think we got him like right away, but you don't. The game does go real quick. It's like a
Yeah.
30-minute game, if that. And I kind of feel like, man, I wish this game lasted a little bit longer because I really want to get my dinosaurs out. By the time you get a dinosaur, it's like it's over. Um, so I think that was a little disappointing for me. Um, but it's a fun game. Again, it's like a family weight game. Your kids will love it, I think, especially younger kids because you get dinosaurs and you're you're talking to you going up and talk, basically making the whole island move and change, and that's kind of cool, and it's a cool idea again, but I think it just needs a little more depth to it, maybe to make the game longer. Oh, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, the game was okay. I had serious Forbidden Island vibes while we were playing it, just because of the layout and the tiles and everything like that. But definitely different premise and such. But I enjoyed it. I really wonder if there's like a full complement of four people. Does the game change drastically? Or heck, maybe we're playing it wrong. I don't know. But
There's not a lot of rules to it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it it was a little underwhelming. Maybe that's one way to put it. But I did enjoy the plays for what it was. It
Yeah.
wasn't horrible.
Right, no, it's not horrible. It left me just wanting more.
Yeah,
Like, I just like, "Man, it's over already?" That's the thing. That's my kinda issue.
yeah.
So, wish the game was longer. Um, the next game was longer, that's for sure. So, we played, a full game of Galaxy Trucker,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
and, this one
Learning and playing at the same time.
this one was like a 3 hour. I think it was about 3 hours
Yeah.
to play this for us because we were learning it. I had a general knowledge of the game, which helped me a lot. But I had only been through like two of the tutorial missions, which they didn't. Well, they did have. They did have it in the first edition, which you had brought. Um, so we went through that and then continued on with our level 2, level 3, and holy craps, that game get hard, boy. Level 3 was brutal.
Oh yeah.
um that game is a lot of fun. My only issue is like this with this one, I really love it. Now it's I could see myself playing this a lot, but there's you have to have a group that knows how to play. You can't
Yeah.
play this and have to teach it every time. There's just no way because you'll never really get it played. 'Cause there's just so much to learn.
Or
Um,
or if the majority of the people know how to play, maybe one new person because they can just follow along.
yeah,
But teaching like the whole table, that's
yeah,
going to be rough.
yeah, but that is a really fun game.
Oh yeah.
Um, maybe
And
we can play it again at the next con,
oh
because
heck yeah.
that'll probably be the next time I play
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah, I played it on my phone that night, a little bit. I didn't go through the whole thing, through a whole game,
yeah,
but, I played on my phone and, the adaptation's pretty good. It's an older game, but, it's well done even on mobile.
cool. And then the last thing that I played, with you as well was the Manhattan Project
Oh,
that you
yeah, the
also brought from
OG.
home.
Mhm.
So why don't you talk about that one? I know that's one of your faves.
Yeah, this was my game of the year for many years, or my favorite game altogether. This game was, one of the first games that I started playing, heck, when it first came out. And it was brand new, what, back in 2011, 2012, something like that. And it is like the premise of the game. So I'm assuming most people probably don't know about it because it was a very small print run from Minion Games back in the day, and one of the first successful Kickstarter projects as well. But it's basically you are buying and building factories to build an engine of construction to gather resources and materials and workers to build plutonium, yellow cake, and uranium in order to build bombs. And it's a little bit of a confrontational game
A little
to
bit.
some degree because we did not really um, play the confrontational game. I was thinking about should I start it, but for the first game, I'm like, no, it's probably not a good thing to do. And from confrontational, I mean that you have fighters and bombers. So you have this little board, and at the top of the board, there's a track with how many bombers and fighters you have. So what you do is you use your little dudes to trigger airstrikes, and you use your fighters to whittle down someone else's fighters, which are technically their defense. And then after that, you bomb the heck out of them, which then causes their buildings to require repair. So they're not generating any resources. And you can literally like keep somebody down almost to the point of where they cannot do anything. But they're not totally crippled by that because there is an espionage mechanic built into it where you can go up on this espionage track and subsequently use other people's resources. So if somebody bombs the heck out of you, you espionage the heck out of them. So it kind of creates an interesting stalemate, and then somebody has to back off if it's a two-player game. It's a little, it's not as bad crippling wise if you're playing with multiple people. But yeah, to me, this game is a classic, and it's had several games that came out afterwards, like Energy Empire, Cold War. There's a new War Machine that just recently came out in the series, um, and there was something else that also came out. I believe there's a second like Energy Empire style game, but yeah, I love this series, and it's always going to hold a special place in my heart. Like, so what did you think about the game as a whole? And you don't have to say nice things just because you know that I'll be sad and cry and need my binky after this.
Dude, if I could do that, boy, I'd be ripping this one to shreds just for the sake of making you cry. Um, I think I think it's something I would enjoy. Again, it's that we played it once, first time playthrough,
Yeah.
trying to figure everything out. There's a lot to do, and then I thought I had like thought one thing, like we were going to do one thing, and it wasn't like what I thought the
Oh
game was
yeah.
going to be. It wasn't
Mhm.
that because I was like, wait, when do I get to nuke you? And you're like, that's not what you do, you know. And I'm like, I thought we were going to attack each other. It was like it was different. Like I guess I thought I was building a bomb to come over there and nuke
Yeah.
your board. And you're like, no, that's how you get your points. And I was like, well, crap, that I was building up this, uranium bomb so I can come over and destroy you, and then I don't get to. So
Yeah. From that aspect, it's more like the Cold War superiority. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like nobody's using the bombs because they know that the other side can annihilate them at the same
right,
time.
yeah. So
So yeah, the
it's a cool
gist,
game.
yeah, the gist is basically, yeah, you build your bombs, and then each bomb, whether it's a plutonium or a uranium bomb, it scores you points, a certain number of points, and then whoever has enough points to meet whatever the goal is. Like for a three-player game, it's a 60-point goal.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
but
and this is
fun.
an old school game too. An old school game done by a really small publisher, Minion Games, out of Milwaukee. And yeah, it's a classic. Very difficult to find. Extremely difficult to find. At least the original version is. The subsequent versions Um, you can still find here and there, especially I think Energy Empire you can find readily available.
Um, but I had to go to the Board Game Geek to find Energy Empire.
Oh, even that one?
Yeah,
Yeah. A used one or is it new?
it's used,
Yeah.
but it's still in really good shape.
Yeah. Because all of these were all the Manhattan Project ones, except the most recent, which is War Machine. They were Minion Games, was the publisher of them. And Minion Games went out of business a couple years ago when the uh, the sole owner, founder, whatever, passed away. So now, was it Grail Games? I think they purchased the assets, but I don't know if they have everything.
But that's what I played.
Yeah.
So I think it's time. Unless you got anything else you want to add.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No. All right. How can people reach out to us?
That's a really good question. They can go, hey, Mark, hey, Rob, when they see us at Gen Con, if they know what we look like. The other way to do it, which is probably considerably more easier, is you can go to our website, thisboardgamelife.com. We have a voicemail button on the side. You can click that and leave us a message. You can also send us an email at contact at this board game life. And you can go to our guild or message us on BGG. A multiple bunch of ways. But yeah, our guild is this board game life.
Woo!
Very good question, my friend.
I want to hear from the community.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Gen Con,
Let's
that
discuss.
was that was a thing.
It
Oh
was.
yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. Like Gen Con, discuss. Like that Saturday Night Live thing. Yeah, so
I'm a little verklempt.
mhm.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, so we went to a couple of different events. Like one of the first ones that we went to was the Fantasy Flight in-flight report, which uh, I was really trying to find. I really wanted to go last year, but apparently they didn't have it last year, which is why I couldn't find it. So we did have that, and for some reason, I always thought it was later in the evening on Thursday, or maybe even Wednesday in previous years. But they had it at 11 o'clock of all times on Thursday, which
uh,
that's cutting into prime time acquisition disorder time
yup.
when everybody wants to run around everywhere. But hopefully that gave you, because what, the hall opened at 10. Hopefully that gave you an hour to
To get
to
nothing.
at least get something. Or like what I wound up doing is, oh, this line's ridiculous. Oh, this line's ridiculous. Because I think you and I stood in the Rock Hard 1977 line for a little
We
bit.
went. Yeah, it didn't take long for them to come along and go, "Yeah, this is up." Because you left. You finally like, "I'm leaving." And I'm like,
No,
"I'm
because
gonna hang
I
out."
went to look at something and I was just going to be back. I think I went to go
Oh,
look at Comic Hunters. And then
okay.
I came back and then I saw you left your post. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? You had one job.
They were sold out.
Yeah.
So I went over to
Which,
get a different game, which I was able to get at my second one,
yeah.
my second attempt.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't think I got much of anything in that first like hour or two.
I got
Actually,
one thing.
no, I take that back. I did run over by the Mayfair booth and I picked up something over there. Because apparently that nobody really wanted to make a huge line over there, like some of the hotness that they had. But
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, I got off topic here. So Fantasy Flight, had a pretty cool session. So they always have it in the big ballroom. So it's this massive ballroom, tons of seating. And one thing that was kind of annoying was that they had that event early on and they wanted paper tickets. Like, come on.
Ugh.
Like, nobody's going to pick up tickets over there. Uh, Especially like the morning of Thursday, where that will call line is like a billion people long. I don't know how long that line was this year because we didn't go over there. But in previous years, that line from will call goes from the registration hall down that one hallway behind like halls A through D, down that entire hallway, and then it would go outside and then down the street. So that is easily like a 2-3 hour line, if not longer. But regardless, we got in there and got some pretty decent seats. It was nice to sit down for a little bit too. But they announced some
Yeah,
pretty cool stuff.
after 1 hour, yeah, it was
Yeah.
you needed a break.
Yeah. The 1 hour, the frenzy, the acquisition disorder frenzy. So yeah, they announced some cool stuff, some Arkham Horror card game stuff that's coming out. Of course, they talked about Star Wars, which I think Franco was interested in some of that stuff because I know he loves his Star Wars. And it was a nice presentation. And they spent a long time talking about the accessories that, oh, what's that company that does all of the
Maple Source?
cases?
Oh,
No, the one that,
oh, Game Genic. Game Genic.
yeah, 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 because, yeah, they're tied with FFG.
Yeah.
So,
That was
or
half the
Asmodee.
show.
Yeah, I know. So, they did have some cool stuff, but I do wish that they had more stuff that, that they were able to talk about, or at least the FFG team was able to talk about. Because they did Arkham Horror, they did Star Wars
The deck builder
Unlimited.
and
I
unlimited.
keep wanting to say United. That's the wrong game.
Yeah.
It's Marvel. But yeah, so that was cool. And then this year they handed out a Grogu card from the Star Wars card game. Well, not the deck building game, but Unlimited. So that was cool. And then was that the day that no, you did your SETI thing on Friday, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you did your SETI play and learn, and then we had the big game night that night. I think we talked about the game night, right? Pretty much already.
Yeah, we kind of talked about
Yeah.
the AG already. So
Yeah. So AG event's always a good time. And I think those were like the big things, right? The big events and stuff like that. I don't think we
yeah,
did
everything else was I think just us wandering and demos on the floor, buying stuff,
food.
food. Yeah. The
Yeah.
what was the Izzy and Harry's? Is that it? That we had dinner on Friday night at the food truck.
Yeah, we did yeah, there's a combo tent, I think, what St. Elmo's and Izzy and Harry's. Yeah, that was good.
Those burgers and tots were phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, they were.
No, and I was happy. I got to eat at Portillo's, White Castle, PF
White
Chang's,
Castle. When'd
all
you eat at White Castle without me?
right after you left.
Oh, okay.
We went to get lunch. Well, not
Nice.
right after you left. It
Yeah.
was later, but
Yeah.
grabbed some before I headed to the airport. So, but
I was certain you would go to Portillo's again.
it would have been nice, but
Yeah. It might not have been on
I
the way. I don't know.
I'm only gonna. Yeah, it's not like it's not just on the street like you. You're just within walking distance. So
Yeah, it's like a 10-minute walk from my house.
exactly. So
I get it.
all right. So I
Yeah,
think the
so
most important thing outside of those things is what about our halls? That's what
sure.
people really want to know. What did you bring home?
Here, I'll start that off. So I had a whole bunch of games that I had like on my wish list. These were games that varied. Like there was quite a few that were must-haves for me. There were ones that I wanted to check out. Some of them were, just demo only, not too many. But I had a pretty significant list of about 18 different games, if I remember right, that I wrote down. And I want to say that this year I probably controlled myself more than any other year. Well, it was in part because a bunch of things sold out. And I was, I'm at the point of where if that line's really long, I'm not going to do it. At least this year, I guess maybe I didn't have the FOMO for some of the new hotness as much as I did in previous years. Because very likely if I was really into the game, I probably would have stood out there and sucked it up. But I I want to say I came home with like 8 or 9 things. I'll have to look to see what the actual list is. So I'll go through my list as short as it is. So I did manage to pick up a copy of Comic Hunters. So this was one of the, fairly hot titles with this massive line at Spin Master. I mean, it was almost as big as the Rock Hard line, at least when I saw it initially.
Yeah.
So every time I walked over there, and I kept checking it, and it was like long line, long line. And then I think Thursday, by the time we left, they had sold out. They didn't have any more copies. And then on Friday, I walked by it and there was maybe like 10 people in line. And I looked and they had a bunch of copies. And I'm like, boom, I stood in line, which surprisingly still took a long time. I don't know what's with people. Like I seem to go to the register and I'm like, boom, in and out. I'm done in like 30 seconds. I got my bag, I got my game, and I'm done. And people go up there and they're like not leaving. I don't know if they're paying with nickels or what they're I don't know. It's like I have no questions. I'm like, game now, bag,
Yep.
card, tap, boom, done.
Yeah.
They're like, would you like a bag? Oh, how did you find out about this game? I'm like, don't talk to me. I need to go buy more games. I didn't say that. I'm just
Yeah.
joking. But yeah, I got my copy of Comic Hunters, and then I saw that if you demoed a game, you got this little foil pack of cards, and there was exactly no people waiting for demos, so I just jumped in there.
Yeah, I wanted to go do the demo just to get that pack because that was a pretty significant promo pack
Yeah, it had like
that you
a
got.
dozen cards, yeah, and they were all
Yeah.
foil.
Yeah, usually it's like, "Oh, here's one card," you know?
Yeah.
That was I'm like, "That's a really good promo."
Hmm.
And even though I didn't get the game, I was like, "I'm gonna get that."
Yeah, and
And I
the
forgot.
and the demo actually took a while. I was surprised. I was expecting like 15 minutes, but it seemed like it was like half an hour.
Yeah.
Or we played a full game
Oh, cool.
pretty much, and although it was a limited game, if that makes sense, it didn't have
Right.
like all the stuff in it, but it
Well, they're
was a full
trying to
game,
give you, like,
a
the
taste.
the the gist, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So so that I did get, and then I also picked up a copy of Fate Flip Washed Ashore. This is a small little game, only $15, and Comic Hunters was $25. I mean, that's pretty freaking cheap. I mean, I started off
yeah.
with some low price titles, which is nice. It's much better than like everything being like $60 plus.
Yeah, yeah,
But
plus.
yeah, Fate Flip. It's an interesting little game. I was looking at it today. I didn't have time to really play any of it. And all this work stuff going on today, but it's basically, think like Robinson Crusoe, kind of, deserted island, washed ashore kind of thing. And it's played with a deck of cards that are in a specific order. There's 68 cards or something like that, 60 some cards. which are large cards. They're not like typical playing card size. They're a little bit bigger, and it just seems like an interesting little solo game. And they give you these two little slider things, which they're like those really big. So paper clips. They have like
Yeah.
the clippy style, and then they have these bigger paper clips that are they're like boxy kind of. I know it's a terrible example or explanation of
Yeah,
them.
it is.
Yeah, but there's another style of paper clip that's more significant. The wire is much thicker. It's meant
Okay.
for like to hold stuff, have more heavy weight than a standard paper clip. But anyway, they use these little slider things like that. So you put them on your card, and that's how you maintain your stats. So you put these like paper clips on either side, and then you like slide them up and down on these point tracks to maintain your stuff. But anyway, it's a cool little game. Uh, on my list, I had Ezra and Nehemiah. This is from the team that does all of the uh, what are they called? Like
The
architects
Yeah,
and
and shipwrights
West.
and the
Yeah,
West Kingdom or whatnot.
yeah. I just can't remember the name of that group or those series, but yeah, it's by the same folks, and it looks really good. And I managed to pick this up the day before I went to Gen Con at my local game store. So I just snagged it over there. I'm like, hey, I'll get it here instead of over there.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, what else did I grab? Those were like the only three from my main list that I talked about last week or the last show.
Yeah.
Um, on that show, ones that I did not get were Rock Hard, so that sold out. Cities sold out. Escape from New York, I saw it at the publisher's booth, but I decided to pass on it. Hit was sold out at Ravensburger. Pirates of Maracaibo, I had that
You
one in my
passed.
hot little hands, but I passed on it. I wanted to check out SETI, but I think you said that it had sold out. Those
Yeah, it
playthings
did.
sold out. Um, I wanted to check out Undergrove from AEG, but I don't remember seeing it at their booth. Wrath of Fire
It was
Mountain.
there. I know it was
Oh,
there. I
it
remember
was
seeing it.
okay.
Yeah.
Wrath of Fire Mountain. We did play Misfit Heroes. I didn't see that anywhere. Patrician Towers of Influence. I did see that one. I remember looking at it. I'm like, man, that is a tiny box, which really surprised me. It was much smaller than like a typical Aaliyah sized box, but it is nice to have a smaller box because that means more games on that shelf.
Yup.
And yeah, those were the ones that I missed off of my main list. I did pick up a couple more, and that's Ancient Knowledge. So I snagged that one from Yellows. They had that at, I forgot what booth it was. So the release this year was an expansion for Ancient Knowledge, but I wound up getting the original game because I didn't get that last year. I got a game called Adulthood, which didn't originally make it on my list, but it was a late ad like the night before left for Gen Con, and it's a game by Brotherwise Games, basically, to live out your adult life. I know that sounds so enticing, doesn't it? But yeah, it's basically, you find your career, um, you know, and have family, that kind of stuff. So it's a card game. It looked interesting, and I'm actually looking forward to checking that one out. And then picked up Spectacular, which was also a late ad to my list. And the last game was Cafe and Espresso. Uh, So that game was the game at Mayfair, which was actually the first game that I picked up on Thursday. There was basically no line over there at Mayfair's booth. And they have two games that came out. One is Cafe and Espresso, and the other game was called Latte. So I just picked up Cafe and Espresso, which is a remake of an older game from about like 10 years ago. That was pretty good. And I think that was it for the ones that I bought. And then, of course, from AEG, we got Nocturne, Cascadia. Was it Rivers or Hills? I forgot which one we got.
Hills.
And we got Truffle Fluffle
Shuffle.
Truffle Shuffle. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's not a new release either. That is that one's a couple years old, but it's a decent game.
Really good game. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say that was it from my list. Actually, let me see. 1 second. I had written down a big list of all the stuff that I wanted. I actually did it the old school way. I wrote it down on paper and I promptly forgot it at home when I left.
I don't know why you didn't just run back and get it.
I would have gotten down to Indianapolis like Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so there was a couple more games now that and I got uh what is it called? Interasia.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you did pick
Intarsia.
that up in
That was
something
it.
like that.
Yeah, I forgot that one. That is by a Michael Kiesling game. Uh, he's the guy behind Azul. So it's his like
Azul.
follow up, not really to Azul. I mean, it's not a sequel or anything like that. It is supposed to be. Um, it's supposed to be different than Azul. So not a copycat, but when you look
Yeah.
at it on the table, it's like, oh, that kind of reminds me of Azul. But so yeah, that was one more that I picked up. I forgot to mention that one. But a couple of the ones that I had listed on here were Mandalorian Adventures. So I was really looking to check with that one out. Um,
Did
I
you
did,
get to? Did you end up checking that one out there?
I saw people playing it, and it looked pretty cool because you're playing. It's one of those games where the play area is like on a big flip book, and
Yeah.
then you flip the pages to like change the play area. And supposedly there's like a campaign or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw while on that weekend, I saw that my local game store, the Blue Game Store, actually had it in stock. so
Okay.
so that one is it's out in the wild. Um, I also was looking to get Metro Runner. I looked at that one, but decided to pass on it when I was at the Thunderworks booth. Let's see. Foundations of Metropolis. I totally forgot about that one. I did not see that one. Middle
No.
Ages.
Yeah, you did, but it was heavy as crap. I remember you
Oh, I
saying, "I'm
did.
not carrying that." Yes, you picked it up and said, "I am not carrying this
Okay.
around."
Yeah, I don't remember that
It was
one.
real heavy.
Yeah. Middle Ages from Studio H. That one sold out. Let's see what else. Jekyll and Hyde was I was interested in checking that one out from 25th Century. Endeavor Deep Sea from Burnt Island. I could not find that one. Looks like they sold out, and that was it. So I got a bunch of my list, and I'm happy with my haul. Like the stuff that I really kind of wanted, I got, and then the other stuff, like that I think I'll probably wind up getting in the next couple weeks. I bet I'm probably going to get parts of Maracaibo and the Mandalorian game, but
Yeah.
yeah, those I think are going to be readily available. I don't think there's anything really. that I FOMO'd hard for that I'd probably want. Maybe like Rock Hard, but who knows? Now that people have got that one in their hot hands, maybe the buzz on that one won't be. I'll have to see what the buzz is right now that more folks have it.
Yeah.
So that's about it for me. How about you? What's your haul like?
So mine, I'm gonna go through. I ended up buying 22 things there, and yes, having to fly back with those.
Wow, yeah.
And I packed my suitcase very well. It all fit. I had no more room. The only room I could have had for was some small card games or something I could have put in my backpack that went on the airplane with me, and not in the check luggage. But my check luggage, both suitcases were no room left. But I had
And by the way, there's some pretty cool videos, for the future reference. There's some cool videos that were done of how people handle going to Essen from the United States and the tricks that they came up with to bring back a lot of games. So there's all sorts of stuff about like, of course, punching because, weight is a concern. So, throw out
yep,
everything that you don't need. And then how they put games inside of games to make,
yeah.
to consolidate space. Anyway, sorry about that.
Yeah, I did punch stuff this year too, to try to lower the weight, which was good because like my main suitcase, I mean, the weight limit's 50 pounds, and my main suitcase was like at 47 pounds
Wow.
with
You came close.
with it being punched, with the stuff in there punched out. So if I didn't punch, I would have been over the 50 pounds. So, but and then I did do two pre-orders. So one of the things, again, I mentioned one I did order the day I got there and just sent it straight to the house. But what I picked up there, the first thing I did grab was Clank Catacombs, Lairs, and Lost Chambers expansion. So I'm looking forward to. I love me some Clank, and I really like Catacombs. Um, that to me is the superior version of the game, outside of Clank Legacy, which I was not aware, but I saw it at the Direwolf booth. Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated 2, their legacy game, is coming out. That's and I didn't even know that was in the works. So I saw that and I was like, I'm like, is this for sale? And the guy's like, no.
He's
I'm
like,
like,
settle down.
he's like, I was like, dude, I'm taking it. I want it now. But that's coming. I'm definitely buying it. My group, we're about to wrap up the first game, and then I got a group. I'm sure they'll go with me through the second one too. So, but I'm excited to see that. I did pick up Star Wars Villainous Revenge at Last, which is the Darth Maul release of the Villainous game for Star Wars, and I'm real excited about that. That's my favorite Star Wars villain. And then I did so very happy. So a game I've had my eye on for a while was Skyrise from Roxley Games, and I didn't do the Kickstarter. I remember looking at it many times. It was expensive, and I was like, I wasn't sure I was going to like it because it's an auction bidding type of game, and but man, it was so unique looking, and the premium edition was just beautiful, um, and I keep looking at it and was kind of, I'm like, I'm gonna go see, see if it's there and try to find out more about it. And but I've all I've seen is like the retail release. I'm like, I don't want the retail. I've seen the deluxe with the raised boards and towns and the skies, and it's just so pretty. And it's like, oh, it ruins me. I want all the deluxe and nice things. So I was walking by their booth, and darned if they didn't have the premium edition. And so I did ask the guy to kind of run me through it briefly, and I just decided I'm buying it. So I bought the premium edition, which sadly still didn't include everything. Um, it still had cardboard tokens, and I had to buy the wooden tokens to upgrade. It had like cardboard key. I don't know what the key's for, and some kind of coin, but I had to upgrade and buy the metal ones. But I do have Skyrise, which I'm really looking forward to learning soon and taking to group and playing that one. I did pick up Wrath of Fire Mountain. That we talked about that one earlier already. I grabbed Space Base Genesis. It's an expansion for Space Base. Looks like there's a lot of new content in it, so I'm looking forward. We do like Space Base in my group, so um,
That's a good
I,
game.
yeah, so I do enjoy that. So I might get that taken with me tomorrow if I can have the opportunity tonight to look through the rules, and might be one I take with as well. Another one that I have been on the fence for a very long time, which is another like bidding game. I don't know why there's two of these that like just I want because of like the look of the game, and they're so
Yeah.
expensive. But this one is Fractured Sky. And I remember when I was out in February, you took me out to your one of your favorite stores and they had it, but it wasn't the deluxe, it was a retail version. So I was like, nope,
No,
don't
they
want the
had
retail.
Titan. They had the Titan version there.
Well, they
'Cause
did.
yeah, because I remember I was looking at it. It was $180 for the
Oh, that's
Titan.
why. Yeah, that's why yeah, and I think at the time too, I didn't have a big suitcase. I just came out with my normal suitcase.
That's why you throw
It
out your
was
underwear and your socks.
so
You can
but
buy another bottle of shampoo.
yeah, exactly. So they had it. I walked past that booth and saw it. I wasn't even looking for it. I just saw it and I was like, oh crap. So I had to stop and take a look and like same thing as the other booth. I'm like, okay, tell me a little about this. That doesn't matter. Just sell me the thing.
Just give it to me already.
I'm like, just give me the deluxe maximum base, everything in it, the fancy version. So I got that, and that's again another one I'm going to be taking with my group after I learn how to play it. So I was really happy to get Skyrise and Fractured Sky, the Primo editions. I really wasn't expecting those. They were not on my list originally, I don't believe. I think Skyrise was because I knew it was going to be there. I wanted to see it, but I Fractured Sky was just like wasn't looking for it. I didn't expect it to be there, and I wouldn't have bought it unless they had the deluxe version. So I picked up Next Station Paris for some stupid reason. It's like I have the first two games in the series; they're basically all the same. But because I have the first two, I have to have the last two or the last one. And it did come with an expansion, which is just some little cards. But it came with the sports expansion, so I got that as well, and I got it for like $15. So can't really complain. We mentioned Nocturne and Cascadia Rolling Hills already. We got from AEG event. I stopped by the oh crap, what's their name? Um, oh, who is this? I got to click on the link. I can. Cryptozoic is. Oh yeah, I remember. Stopped by the Cryptozoic booth, and I saw that they had a new Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards called
Oh
Anarchy
yeah.
at the Arena. So I picked that one up. I do have like those games. I don't have the big Annihilation ones, but I do have all um, these other ones, the little smaller games, and these are a lot of fun. Picked up that this game is killer. I picked up some expansions for Bonsai, so I got Vigorous Growth and Specialist and Wabi Sabi. Picked those up for the Bonsai game. Mentioned Truffle Shuffle already. Um, Grabbed Lost Ruins of Arnak, the Missing Expedition. So I have the base game and the other expansion, but I had not picked up this expansion, which I think came out last year and was kind of a big hit last year. Um, and I saw it there, so I grabbed it. And let's see, I talked about Captain Flip, Plunder a Pirate's Life. Another one I grabbed that was like I was just walking by. It's not anything I'd ever heard of before, but it's called First in Flight.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm really looking forward to playing this one. And I know Rob will say I only bought it because they also had deluxe components that you could buy with it, which of course I did buy.
I would never say that. Why you got to be like that? Take take ownership of your acquisition disorder. Don't blame me.
but I was watching them, so I walked by and I kind of looked at it. Then I kind of walked by and I was like, nah, because I like flight. I mean, I love airplanes myself. I spent 8 years in the service as an aircraft mechanic on two different airplanes in the Air Force, and I like my airplanes, and so this one is was interesting to me. So I walked over and they were playing it at a table in in the retail hall there, and one of the guys working there started talking to me, and I said, "Oh, I'm just trying to see this," and he was explaining to me why the other people were playing, and I liked that this is kind of like it's like a mix of a bunch of different games. So it's a deck building game, it's a racing game, and it's like a press your luck game, and it just really like all these different kind of mechanics. The way this was working, and while I was watching them play, I'm like, this looks pretty interesting. Um, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. And it's like you're supposed to fly a certain distance by like building planes and repairing your planes and designing the planes, and it's like the first to fly a certain distance, and it's just I'm like, there's a lot of different mechanics. I'm like, this looks interesting, you know. So I picked it up. Of course, I did grab the deluxe components too. Um, like who wouldn't? What insane person wouldn't pick those up? Um, so I'm looking forward to trying this one as well. It's got a lot of historical characters as character as I'm sorry, a lot of historical people who are as characters in the game. If I'm saying that correctly, and so I'm looking forward to checking that out.
I do
While I
wanna
was,
I do wanna
hmm?
add one thing about that game. It's actually, a Mensa award, game. So they
Oh,
got some
cool.
kind of Mensa award.
Yeah, see, good game, good game. All right, I'm almost done. I got a couple more here to mention. Under Falling Skies. So as I was in the
Oh, yeah.
CGE store, I saw this, and it turns out it's a solo game. That it's basically almost like Space Invaders, and the guy was showing us how to play. I'm
Yes.
like, this looks cool. So, and for a small box, man, this sucker's heavy.
Oh, yeah. It's packed. Like,
Yeah,
they did a great job, and then there's with a piece of paper, I remember you opened it up and it says, like, "Don't touch anything.
it's like stop, read me
Do
first.
not punch. Put it in your
So
suitcase as is."
yeah, so I'll be looking at that here hopefully this week and getting that. As soon as I can find shelf space and clear my table, then I can put this on my table and play it. Right now, it's like crap. My Gen Con purchases aren't over. I got to go to IKEA and buy more shelves now because I'm seriously out of shelf space, and my table is completely full. I got nowhere to put all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I picked up Under Falling Skies from CEG, like a Space Invader style. Looks like a dice. If I recall, there was dice on this one. Looks just like a fun game. Oh yeah, they won Best Dice Game nominee, UK Games Best Expo Best Dice Game Judges Award winner. It was a solo game winner. Um, International Gamers Award solo winner. Best International Strategy. Oh no, that was a nominee for that one. But Golden Geek Best Solo Board Game winner. So this thing's won a lot of game things. So looking forward to getting that to the table. I went and bought the Rolling Realms Redux, the redo. So this is Rolling Realms, but with 12 brand new realms that they're not. So if you have Rolling Realms, and you might have seen there's a million different little expansion, little packs of cards that add in like one game. So it gets like you get 6 cards in these packs, one for every player. It's just one card of each color to cover one game. And so the new Rolling Realms redo has 12 new games cards, and then it's a bigger box. So like I have a bunch of the expansion cards, and they all fit in this one box. And you get new markers, new dice. There's a new solo card play game in there as well. And yeah, so it's you can fit all the old stuff. They say that it'll fit everything currently released, so you don't have to worry about running out of space. It's a nice little design. They also have a small box inside of it as well that like if you want to just take say you're traveling, there you can take out like so many, there's a box that you can put a bunch of these cards in and travel with. So I thought that was a really neat idea too. So you're not having to take everything. Um, and then of course I bought like 4 packs of game trays. So I bought some that hold like 3 and 4s, and then a whole bunch of singles, and because I use those a lot. And I was sitting here last night opening stuff and taking stuff out of baggies and putting in some of my game trays um and, and whatnot. And then lastly, I did end up pre-ordering. Oh, actually, I guess I have another one. So I pre-ordered Rock Hard 1977 and Spectacular. So I actually pre-ordered those games, and then I did buy Comic Hunters. I did see Barnes and Noble has it, and so it's already been shipped. I'll have that next week. So Comic Hunters is. So it's like, man, I wish I would have gone to that booth to get those bonus cards. So, and I was gonna go do that little demo, and I completely just forgot about it. So,
Yeah, I'm sure you would
but
have done it if we went the other days.
yeah, I'm sure I would have remembered. They're like, oh yeah, let's go do this. So, so I blame you for not letting
Of
us go.
course.
I'm just. But that's what I walked away with. So quite a big haul. I did stay under my budget,
Oh, nice.
um, but it was close. And if
Yeah.
but I didn't budget in shelves, so I guess I'm gonna break my budget because I didn't budget shelving in. But that that doesn't count. That's something different.
Oh, of course
That's
not.
under house budget. So,
It's under the
but
furniture
that's
budget.
yeah, that's it for me.
Oh, so yeah, that's a pretty nice haul and
Yes.
well done in staying under your budget. Yeah, as I was looking through some of the stuff on the board game. I don't know what it's called. It's like board games something group on Facebook where a lot of folks post stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of haul videos. So
Oh yeah.
there's some folks, they make our hauls look tiny.
Yes.
They definitely are hot with the acquisition disorder,
Yeah.
and hopefully they had a vehicle or something that they could, or a hotel room that's connected to the convention center that they can drop the stuff off.
Yeah.
There,
Some of those were like they had to keep going back and forth,
oh yeah, yeah,
or
especially
their
with some,
kids were with them and they'd buy them and they'd send the kid back to the hotel room. Take this back.
yeah,
I'm going to get in the next
yeah.
line.
It's like their kids, also known as the mules,
Yep, the mules. That's
that send the
exactly what I
stuff
was
back.
thinking.
Yeah, yeah,
So
but there's a lot of stuff that was going on over there. What so what do you think was like the hotness? Like one or two games that were like really hot this past weekend?
oh, Rock Hard and Comic Hunters, I think were the two that seemed to me to be the just you got to get them like, and they just weren't. There were not enough to meet demand at all.
Yeah.
So, um,
Yeah, definitely those two. What do you think about Lorcana? I really didn't pay attention to the Ravensburger line.
I
Was it out into the hall like it was last year?
I didn't see any Gen Con or Lorcon. I don't know if it was even in the same place
It was. It was.
because like when I went to the Ravensburger booth, I walked. There was like 2 people in line right in front of their booth, and it was just like you know, I walked up and they handed me another Lorcana card that I don't need, and it was like a minute later I was in their booth buying what I wanted,
Mhm.
and then they gave me like more cards and crap that I didn't want or need. So
Nice.
and a pin, and I got a Lorcana golden Mickey pin or something. So
Okay.
um, I don't know. Maybe I'll eBay that sucker along with the Lorcana card and the Fantasy Flight Grogu signed card that we got, and maybe I'll see if anyone wants it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because when I went
But
over to see if they had hit, they
yeah,
uh they had a queue of people up along the wall, that wall of like cinder block wall that like the
yeah,
bathrooms are on, and then
right.
it went down the hall. So I have no idea how long it was. And
Maybe that is that first day.
mm,
That must have been Friday or Thursday, right? I went Friday, and that was like, yeah, I walked up to that wall, but it was right across from their booth. There was like
yeah,
two people in front of me,
okay,
and they were just controlling who was going in. But
yeah,
it
the
was like,
Lorcana FOMO must have died down.
yeah, maybe they sold out of it all already, and everyone moved on.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. So let's see if there was anything else.
I want to say one thing though.
What?
I want to. This might create a little bit of a rant. I'm not going to rant about it because I know you'll be like, as you were already trying to calming me down while I was there. But you know, I still don't agree, and it still kind of bothers me a little bit. The principle of the thing. I'm gonna, and this was for all play. Who you and I both kickstarted a game called River Valley Glasswork, and that game is like being fulfilled, I guess now out for shipment. It's people are probably going to start receiving their copies here soon. But that was readily available for sale
Yeah,
at Gen Con.
yeah.
Like it was everywhere. I was seeing people like buying. I'm like, you sons of bitches. I backed that game and I don't have it yet. And it kind of bothers me that when you back something and you're supporting the ability of that game to be even made, like that's what crowdfunding is. Even though I know All Play is one of those companies that doesn't need my money, but they took my money under the premise that help us kickstart this project and make it come alive. And then people who didn't kickstart it have the game before the backers do. That really rubs me the wrong way. I do not like that, and I don't think that's right. So, and
I hear you.
it's not a hit on all play. It's just that was the one that I saw that impacted me directly. I was like, well, wait a minute, where's my copy? But I know others have done the same. And it's just like that's even if it's like we're gonna have just a few copies to show people. Well, like with the all play, there was tons of them. Like that thing's out. And it's like it shouldn't be in the store and in retail and full on everybody can have it at the conference when the backers don't have their copies yet. I just doesn't make me happy camper, but enough on that. It is what it is.
Yeah, they. I was just looking it up on Kickstarter. They posted an update last week that said that the container with the games was delayed in the port in China, and the games are currently on the water. They're expecting fulfillment for U.S. backers to be underway on the 14th.
But for
So,
people who didn't back it in the US, they can already have it.
mhm. Yeah, if you were a Gen Con, so it was a 70. Yeah, they had the deluxe version for $70
Yep.
at the booth.
What, same price as we paid?
Was it?
I think so. So there was
No,
no
we
need
paid
for me to
more.
back it. Oh yeah, because we had to pay shipping. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
the retail version is 40 retail. Yeah, the deluxe Kickstarter version was 70.
so yeah, we paid more, and I just don't think that's right. To me, that's a slap in the face to your customers. You know.
So don't
Oh well.
kickstart the games from now on. Leave them all for me.
I know. People are gonna be like, you didn't have to kickstart
Nah,
it.
No, this
But
yeah.
yeah,
This has been a hot topic for
principle.
years. Yeah, I remember years ago, Tasty Minstrel Games, they took a lot of flack for having this stuff happen. And they were like the big ones, right? Where I think backers didn't get their stuff for like weeks or months after, they sold their stack over at GenCon. But
Yeah,
you know, stuff happens.
yeah. Well, for me, what it tells me is I won't be backing Kickstarters from Allplay because I know that that's what they do.
Okay.
So I'll just wait for retail with them, and I won't support them in a crowdfunding.
Okay.
So and I encourage other people to do the same. If you see a company that's doing that, because first of all, I don't think big companies like that should be crowdfunding. I don't like that to begin with. It's my fault that I backed them. If I don't, it's my fault. I backed something when I don't agree that that company should be using this platform to, sell the game like that. They're just taking our money ahead of time. Um, take the risk. That's what all these other big companies do. Stonemeyer doesn't crowdsource anymore. They don't need to, and I really appreciate Stonemeyer for that. You know, some of these
Yeah.
other companies, it's like I have a really hard time. What's the big one that does Marvel United? You know, come on. Those guys are huge. They making bank, and they're still crowdfunding everything they make. Like really? So
Yeah. It's a pre-order and buzz system.
yeah, it's not a crowdfunding anymore. And it's like that's what it's supposed to be. And then the thing is the little guys, which is what that platform's for, they get buried still. They still can't compete. So the big guys are using the indie platform to bury them. That's just not fair. It's not right. It's wrong.
Mhm.
So, anyways, I'm getting off my soapbox.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, going back to the hotness, yeah, I'm gonna say a couple of games that that at least I saw people walking around with it a little bit, and or I thought there
Oh,
was interest.
I do have
What?
two more, but yeah,
What?
go ahead. You'll probably cover
So
them.
like from the collectible card game, card style games, there's Altered, which is going to be released later on this year. It's available on BGA to play now, but that game had some buzz. There's Arcs, which was another one. The
Arcs
new,
was huge.
yeah, the Undaunted game. I don't know how much of a presence they had there, but I remember seeing at least a couple of boxes of those walking around with folks, carrying them. Let's see what else. That Harvest game, that had a
No,
big line.
I don't think I saw anyone that had bought it.
Well, there's a
That thing was
huge,
expensive.
yeah, there's a huge line for it. That's for sure.
It was one I was interested in until I saw it,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, and then I saw how it plays. I'm like, there's just too much here. It's not a simple game like Parks. Um, so,
Yeah.
and I even backed out on their rolling right, their other one that was like a park trails or something. I can't remember what it was, but it's their rolling right version of Parks, and it's like you have this little book, like a little trail guide, but that's what you're marking off. And it's like even when I was standing there looking at this one lady was like, "Well, how many pages are in that book? Like this isn't going to last very long." If I fill the book up, I got to buy another book to keep playing my game. Kind of like how much the sheets that you run out of the sheets, but they put it in like a little booklet. So I ended up being like, no, I got enough rolling rights. So a lot of things that I had on my list when I got there, I was like, yeah, I kind of had second thoughts about. There was another hot one that I thought it was a second ago and I already forgot. Arcs was one. Oh, Slay the Spire.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
That was another popular one that people were after.
Yeah, so that's about it. You have anything else to mention about
Uh,
Gen Con?
nope, nothing for Gen Con. But
Otherwise?
I do want to talk about my top three favorite types of food.
Oh, okay.
Remember, we're going to close each show out each
Yeah,
week
no,
with our
I
top three
remember.
something. Um, so I kind of was like, not necessarily like a food item, but more of like, what do you call it? Type of food, culture of food, food culture. Um, so for number three, I think my third favorite type of food is Italian food. Spaghetti, pizza,
Stuff with lots of
lasagna,
carbs.
lots of carbs,
Comfort
lots of
carbs.
cheese, lots of meat. Um, I love Olive Garden's breadsticks with their Alfredo sauce is to die for. Literally, it'll probably kill you because
I'd
it's.
say that's a good assessment.
But oh my gosh, I could just eat. I could just go there and just get the breadsticks and the Alfredo and a Coke, and that's it. That's all I need. I can eat that stuff by just like the gallon. It's so freaking good. No, but how about you? You
Oh,
got a
okay,
what
we'll
do you think
switch
for your
off.
number three?
Yeah, for my number three, I'll have to go with Mexican. Um, really enjoy that style. Everything from the great little restaurants, that are authentic, and heck, I still like my Taco Bell and my Del Taco and my Qdoba. Not so much Chipotle, but I'll even go in. I'll go into that realm too. So oddly enough, I thought I just saw a list not too long ago that Chick-fil-A got dethroned
Yes,
by Del Taco as the.
which it's a scam, dude.
Yeah, you think so?
That there's no way. Del Taco is disgusting. That is the
No.
nastiest fast food taco joint you could. I just how did they get number one? There's no way. It's rigged. Somebody paid someone off, and it's not that Chick Fil A got dethroned. That's fine. I get it. Things change, but Del Taco,
Yes.
no way.
I like their selection. Like when they have like the shrimp tacos, and they have some nice stuff, and I really like fries with my burrito.
Yeah, gross. That is the armpit of Mexican restaurants.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Well, apparently the majority of people in the United States disagree with you.
No, someone, but the company paid
Yeah.
off the publisher to say,
It's
"Hey, put our name at
bots.
the top." It's all
They
bots. Yeah, there you go. So,
they use the bots to to rig it.
yeah, exactly. All right. I think I need to make a slight adjustment because I saw your list and I was like, "Oh crap, I made a slight mistake." So, really, Italian was my number four because I would have to say my number two has got to be a good barbecue. Steak, brisket, pulled pork, smoked chicken. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then you get a good sauce. It's just like that's just a little piece of heaven right there. And the beauty about grilling or smoking is smelling it cook. Oh, doesn't get better than that.
Hmm.
So so that's really my number three.
Okay.
Okay, so number two,
Well,
my number
you
two.
can
I threw an
say
extra in.
you can say that's your 2.5.
There you go. um, I don't even know how when I was making this, I was like, I wasn't even thinking. I was thinking like
Apparently not.
culturally, but I'm like, how did I leave that out? Um, so, anyways, number two for me, Chinese food. I love combo fried rice, sweet and sour chicken. I got to go to PF Chang's while we were in Indy. I was so freaking
You
happy.
did.
That is my favorite all time restaurant even over Portillo's.
Really?
PF Chang's is my favorite. I love their Kung Pao chicken. I love their Mongolian beef. Their lettuce wraps are awesome. Everything they make is phenomenal. It is so, so good. I love Chinese food, but that is like, to me, that is like the premium. You cannot beat PF Chang's. Just love it.
You should have told me. We could have gone there instead of going to Portillo's 7 times.
If I go to Chicago, I got to have Portillo's.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
didn't even think I didn't. I don't know. We should have done that. Well, now I know. Next year we'll definitely hit PF Chang's when we're back in Chicago next
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah, there's one in Schaumburg that's been there forever at Woodfield Mall, and then there's one by Northbrook Mall. I think
yeah, I
those are the
remember the one
closest
in
ones.
Woodfield Mall. It was right across the street from where I used to work.
Still
So,
there,
all
right next to
right.
the
How about you? Which?
yummy Texas de Brazil.
Oh yeah,
So that segues into my next one. Uh, Basically, any kind of barbecue, smoked meat, regular barbecue, grilled, whatever, basically meat of any kind. And I am just fine with just, grilling like a double burger and just having that. I don't need anything else.
that's right.
Or, just get some brisket or some pulled pork, making ribs, um, these European little sausages that are amazing, chicken thighs. Heck, I even have this fancy schmancy air fryer sous vide combo where I can make that stuff inside even. It's perfect for a low cleanup, quick quick meal. But yeah, barbecue, any kind of meat. Uh Love that stuff. And then what's your number one?
My number one is Mexican food.
Del
I
Taco.
love no any not Del Taco. Um, I'm not even a fan of fast food. The only fast food taco place I love is Taco John's, which is a Tex-Mex style of
Yeah.
Mexican food. I love me my Taco John's. Um, but there was a place back home called Mexican Village that I grew up on, and it's more American Mexican. It's not real like authentic Mexican. So I'm probably more of a Tex-Mex would really be my favorite guy. I do love that Tex-Mex style of Mexican, the more Americanized Mexican food, but man, tacos and burritos, and I love a good cheese and onion enchilada. Oh man, quesadillas. I love the carne asada. Anything, street tacos, regular tacos. It's just I can't get enough of that stuff. Chips and sauce and mm, yeah, nachos, you name it, man. I love it.
Yeah, they closed the one and only Taco John's over here. The closest one's now up over in Kenosha.
Yeah, it didn't last long, did it?
No, I want to say like a year, but
Wonder if it was the location. That seemed like a strange place.
yeah, it was adjoining a really big gas station that's super busy.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, that's also by a holding area for O'Hare Airport. So a lot of the limo drivers and Ubers and all that stuff would hang out over there. So the
yeah,
parking lot was jammed
yeah,
with cars just waiting. And I know when I've gone over there, there's been times where it's like, I can't find parking. Like there is
yeah.
nowhere to park because it's just limos waiting, which I don't think should be allowed.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, they should give them the boot.
Yep.
But
Or the
yeah,
cell phone lot.
Yeah, yeah, oh
Or
yeah,
go to the not even there. They should have their own lot for those guys.
they do.
When
But
they need to be over there
who wants to go over there when it's difficult to get out when you can just hang out around a Taco John's?
and run it out of business. Shame.
I want to say that the Taco John's up there is not far from from Papa Murphy's. Just another one that we really
Mm.
don't have close to here. But yeah, it's just maybe like quarter mile from there. But anyway, it's a whole different story.
All right. Well, that wraps up our show because
Yeah,
we really don't need to hear your number one because that is like I can't even believe you put that on there, but
yeah.
no one cares, and we're gonna move on.
My number one is sushi.
Ugh.
So I really enjoy sushi of all
Yeah.
kinds, and I put it in my as my number one just because I don't have it super often. Um, it's just kind of a convenience thing. That's why I don't have it more often. Not to mention sometimes it's super expensive depending on where you go. But yeah,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of really great sushi restaurants. It's perfect date night food, I guess. And then there's also this little sushi place next to me or nearby, about a 2-3 mile drive, where I do go there on occasion for lunch and get their like pre-made stuff, which is some of that stuff's relatively inexpensive, but that is a fairly healthy um, thing to eat compared to some of the other stuff. So
Yeah.
it's healthy and light and it's pretty good. And I know a lot of folks don't like it, but it does take a while to warm up to it. And you know, I sucked it up years ago and made the jump with my friend Matt that actually lived in Tokyo for I think like 8 months, and him and his Japanese girlfriend would always be like, "Hey, let's go to have sushi. We know this place." I'm like, "Okay," and I got eased into it, and here we are today. But yeah, so yeah, that's it. So we talked about GenCon, we talked about food. Now I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I gotta go eat dinner, man.
Yeah,
I haven't eaten yet.
so
So
you can go have your Del Taco.
yeah,
Now I do have to
thankfully we
say,
don't have them here.
yeah, Del Taco does fall into the same bucket for me as does Arby's, where I enjoy Arby's, but there's so many Arby's that are just nasty,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. They're like old, you go in there and you're like, what the heck happened here? And unfortunately, the food sometimes shows it. Del Taco, a lot of those restaurants are like old and the quality isn't there. But when you find the good one, man, is it good.
I'll just have to take your word for
Yeah,
it.
that you will. So,
Yeah.
all right. So I think that's about it for episode 77. How do we do on time? Oh, just short of 2 hours again. Actually, no, I think we broke the 2 hour barrier, which is like the speed of sound. I think we
No,
broke
we
it.
didn't this week. We're at
Yeah.
150
We
hour
went,
53. Last time we did 2 hours and like 9 seconds or
mhm.
something. We just went over.
Yeah.
So
So you can do like interpretive poetry or something for the next 7 minutes.
I could talk about something. I did get a Kickstarter in
Oh, that's right.
today.
That's right.
My Deep Rock Galactic expansion set came in. And oh man, it's a big old box.
Was
And
it
I'm like, I
heavy?
was so excited. Not super heavy. I think it was lighter than I expected. But there's so much stuff in this box. I laid it all out on the table. I took a picture and sent it to you, and then I had to walk away and like I got to go up there now and it's like start opening it looking because I don't have room in my game room. So I just set it on the table
Oh, yeah.
upstairs in the dining room. I have to go eat my dinner and then start opening. And but there's I got like I went and got everything. So I even have. It's funny I forgot, but a little while ago I was thinking, man, I need to get some coasters for my game room for like my table. So, but I have these. I bought a folding spaces thing for Cascadia, so I can put it in the landmarks box and it fits everything for like both games into the landmarks box. And when I was punching that, there was two things that basically punched out like, and they're like coaster size. I don't know if that's what they were intended for, but I use them as a coaster. It's that folding space, like soft cardboard stuff. They work great. But my Deep Rock Galactic stuff that I just bought, I got a set of Deep Rock Galactic coasters in there as well. So I'll have to open that stuff up and send you some pictures of it so you can see it. But I'm like super excited. That was one of the big ones I've been waiting for. My most exciting one is, and most expensive, is still due out. I think they're gonna, it's dice throwing the X-Men stuff. So I think that's been pushed to like the end of the year. So but that's it.
Okay. All right. So that's it for episode 77, our Gen Con recap episode. We'll catch you all on episode 78, where we go back to our regularly scheduled program.
I
Catch you
was like,
all.
are
No, I mean, I
you
was
gonna say
done.
goodbye?
I was done. That was my goodbye. Rob, catch you all in 2 weeks.
I'm Mark. We'll see you at the table.